The way I would describe Chorale is that it's a group of people that all enjoy singing and that come together to form a great SATV choir. It's diverse in many different ways since it involves people of all majors, life backgrounds, music backgrounds, and it has a huge spread of ages. It's a place where you're constantly learning, whether it's about vocal technique, sight singing, or expressing music.
If I had to describe Chorale in 30 seconds, I would say that it is loving and supportive and fun. They're always there to lift you up and make sure that you're having a great time making music with others.
Chorale is the most fun you can have on a Friday afternoon, and it becomes like a second home for you at Cornell.
I am not a music major. I am in ILR, but that's what's so great about Chorale is you have people studying completely different things. And so that gives you a bunch of different people to get to know and be friends with. And it helps me in my day-to-day life because it helps me de-stress.
I'm in the engineering school, so Chorale was actually able to help me fulfill one of my liberal studies requirements. Instead of having to take an extra liberal studies class, I was able to use my accumulated Chorale credits to knock out that requirement.
I was actually an Asian studies major, but I would not have graduated Cornell without Chorale. I struggled with my mental health a lot, and Steve, the TAs, my peers in Chorale saved me time and time again from completely falling apart because I had that safe space to do what I love with people who love it too. And just having that at the end of the week helped me keep it together. Chorale was a way that I could de-stress and just enjoy music and life and forget for 2 hours about the other academic and social stresses in my life.
I'm actually a biology major. We say, oh, you're a biology major, what are you doing in music? That's so different from animals and DNA and proteins and a bunch of other biological subjects. Part of being a good student, I believe, is being well-rounded. And the chorale really allows you the opportunity to be well-rounded. I grew more well-rounded as I developed my own musical skills and my own knowledge of musical theory. And I found that my academics actually improved because of the experience, simply because I had a chance to learn something different that I wouldn't have had the chance to learn otherwise.
My favorite memory from Chorale is singing Hear My Prayer by Moses Hogan in the Goldwyn Smith Atrium. The acoustics there are awesome, and we did it at the end of a long rehearsal, at the end of a long week, and I was really going through a lot of hard times in my life. So just this moment with those people singing together, it was really, really powerful, and it helped me get through a lot of things that were going on.
My favorite memory from the chorale would definitely have to be my first concert. I remember we sang Vivaldi's Gloria. It was just such a magical experience coming to Sage Chapel, all of my new friends that I just made during that semester. How our sound filled the chapel, that magic feeling that you feel as the sound swells together. The reception that we got from our audience, that they loved what we were doing. It's an experience that repeated itself across each of the concerts that we had across the semesters that I was in the chorale. But that first time I experienced it was something I'll never forget.
One of my favorite things that we do every semester in Chorale is that we go around the whole room and find out how many languages people learned before they started learning English. I personally learned an Indian language, Telugu, before learning English, so it's always really fun to put my hand up and add another language to the list. Every single year, the number of languages in the room grows, and I think the last time that we took the poll, there were around 20 languages that people had learned, so that tells you how many different places everyone is coming from. The Chorale community is amazing, and there are people that I've met through Chorale that I definitely would not have been able to meet otherwise because our majors and our other interests are so totally different. I'm still really good friends with the people that I sat next to during my very first chorale rehearsal of freshman year of college. Since rehearsal happens on Fridays, we always make it a point to go get dinner right after rehearsal, and that's always something to look forward to through the entire week.
So the community is great because they'll support you socially by creating a family, but they'll also support you musically. As everyone gets more adjusted to chorale and goes through the semesters, those who have been there for a while help those who haven't been there. And I think sharing music with people gives you a stronger bond.
Throughout college, Chorale has been a space for me where I can go and forget about all the other stress in my life. It gives me a place where I can totally focus on singing, which I love to do, and not have to worry about the stress of problem sets or other exams. Having that space in rehearsal and during musicianship sessions every single week has been amazing at clearing my head and making me feel better, no matter how many things are going on in my life at the time.
I had little to no experience in choirs before I joined chorale. I had sung in a choir when I was really young, but since then I had not sung in a choir. I found it pretty easy to adjust. Chorale is built so that you get to learn a lot of musicianship skills and music skills and learn how to be a good choral singer while you're actively participating in the club. So because those things were built in, and I was working on my musicianship skills multiple times a week in rehearsal and outside of rehearsal, by the time it was my second year, I really felt like I was an old pro.
I have had prior choir experience before I was a part of chorale. I sang for about 7 years before that, but that's what's so great about chorale is because the people who I'm standing right next to, this may be the first time that they've ever been in a choir. So our learning curves are completely different, and I can learn from them and they can learn from me because different perspectives are the best thing in the world.
I did not have any previous choir experience. I remember coming to my first rehearsal and seeing about 100 other people there thinking, oh my gosh, what did I just get myself into? But it's just such a welcoming space that even amongst all those people, you feel right at home. What's great about feeling right at home is that these other people become your friends. You become really close to them and get to know them all by name. Coming together to make some music, some beautiful art, and any fear that you might have to begin with will simply be washed away.
I was super nervous for my audition because I auditioned during O Week freshman year when everything was super new and everything was so scary. But the audition was totally low stress. I went in really worried, but it honestly felt more like a vocal lesson than an audition. Steve and Robert, the directors, make everything super low stress and totally calm you down, so there's nothing to worry about. Even doing a bunch of STEM classes and doing other extracurriculars every semester, I've always been able to find the time for chorale. I think it's super worth it to put in the extra time to go to musicianships because at musicianships I've both learned new skills and met new people.
It is a very small time commitment except for maybe right at the end when we have our very large concert, which trust me, you want to be there for. It's the pinnacle of the semester where you all come together, feel like a family, perform music together, get standing ovations, sing the alma mater together. And the time commitment is very low. It's once a week, and I think it's the perfect time. It's a Friday. You get to unwind with your friends and make music, which is the best start to my weekend that I could ever think of.
You get a family at Cornell, you get a safe space, and you get to do what you love with people that love it too.
So the Chorus is a combination of two groups, both the Glee Club and the Chorus. We're an incredibly tight-knit community of singers, of friends, of students, of people who like to explore, of people who like to try new things, and people who just want to get together and grab lunch on campus. So if any of those things seem to apply to you, then we would definitely want to have you in our group.
The Chorus is just this amazing, welcoming community of singers where everyone is pretty much on the same page about why we're here, and it's that we really love to sing. It's just this place we can all come together and just do what we love, and we're always so willing to make music together.
It's really a beautiful family that will take you in as one of your own.
Chorus has positively affected my studies in the sense that it gives me a break from what I'm doing. It gives me an opportunity to take a step back and appreciate other things that maybe I'm not going to do for a career, but I enjoy too much to ever stop. People are music majors and this is already what they do, but most of us are music majors, and we do it because it gives us something to do outside of our Spanish homework or writing an essay. It's enjoyable and relaxing in a way that academics can't necessarily provide if you just focus on that too much.
I'm a hotelier and I go to school at the School of Hotel Administration. So I don't major in music at all, but joining the chorus really gave me an insight into how the university works as a whole. I remember being part of the group of students that got to first meet President Pollock when she was inaugurated. We got to sing the alma mater for her. I've been to every graduation since my freshman year. And that's not something that every hotelier can say they've done. So even though I'm not a music minor or major, and being in the chorus is very much a hobby for me, it is super serious, and you get to do really, really cool stuff like touring around the world and meeting really important people through the university.
Last March 2019, the Glee Club goes over to Mount Holyoke College to put on a performance of the Brahms Requiem. Before then, I hadn't sung in a choir with a full orchestra before, so beginning that piece and having the entire force of the orchestra and all the other singers around you going all at once was something that I really can't forget experiencing for the first time.
My favorite memory from the Glorious is definitely my first concert as a whole. It was our major works, which was the Brahms Requiem, and it's quite stunning being on that stage with so many talented people producing such a beautiful performance.
My favorite memory from the chorus was actually my freshman year when the chorus went on tour to the Atlantic coast, and I went to Atlanta, Georgia for the first time, and I was dead set and determined to get some real Southern barbecue. So I went with all the people in my freshman class. We took up an entire restaurant, we had some amazing food, and then the waiter asked us to sing for everyone in the restaurant. So all this new freshman class sang one of our chorus songs with so much pride, and really one of my favorite moments, and tour is just an incredible time to make all of these memories that you're going to remember forever.
You will not regret any of the moments you spend with them, and I think that you'll find that every moment will be cherished.
So when I initially agreed to join this choir that met for rehearsal 4 hours a week, I wasn't really expecting to get much of a community out of it, but I ended up being added to like 10 group me's, and I always had someone that I could just send a message and get an instant reply, to get lunch with someone, or to explore a corner of Ithaca that I hadn't been to yet. And there's always so many things going on, so many social events, that if you're ever lost and trying to find a place at Cornell, this is the perfect social community to get involved in.
So the social aspect, well, first of all, it's a lot of fun. What I like about it is you get here and some people already have friends outside of the Glorious. Some people are joining hoping to make new friends, and wherever you are, there's a place for you. I really met my group. A lot of people can say the same. We do a lot of social events. They're a lot of fun.
No matter how you're feeling socially that day, you're gonna find other people that are feeling the exact way as you are, so you're never gonna be outside of your comfort zone. You're gonna be right there with the people that are ready to do what you are comfortable with, which is, I think, is amazing.
I participated in my high school choirs, and I also did musical theater in high school as well. And I feel like those choirs prepared me for Glorious, but also that I still had a lot to learn when I auditioned.
I sang in choir all throughout high school, and that helped, but I've met kids in my own age that have said, I've never sung in the choir before, and I consider that way better than musicians than I am. You shouldn't worry about where you are right now vocally. Just be ready to open yourself to the possibilities of where you can be vocally after joining.
I was really, really intimidated walking into that audition room because I've listened to some recordings and these groups were just so incredible. But it ended up that our director and assistant director were just so approachable. It was really more about just exploring what you had to offer rather than it being a test or having to have anything prepared. If you're on the fence, then go for it. Take that chance. It's not going to be as nerve-wracking as you think it's going to be, and you really, really will not regret it.
The audition experience is very lighthearted in that it's more so a 5-minute voice lesson with an amazing director, Professor Robert Isaacs, as well as assistant director Steve Spinelli. They're very welcoming and they're very kind, and they work with you for 5 to 10 minutes, and it's a great introductory experience to the Glorious.
If you're thinking about joining the Glorious, there's 2 very important aspects of it. One is that you don't really need to be a singer to get in. You just need to know your way around your voice, and if you show potential, then you'll be readily accepted into it and you'll learn a lot. And another thing to keep in mind is that the community is so vibrant and diverse and accepting of you, and you'll instantly have people to look to, people to interact with, people to hang out with.
So why should you audition for the chorus? Well, there's too many reasons to count, but let me tell you, my life would not be the same here at Cornell without the chorus. I've met some of my very best friends. I've had the opportunity to tour to corners of the US that I never even dreamed that I would be able to visit with a very, very low cost. I've taken on so many responsibilities and leadership opportunities that have really built up my confidence. And plus, I don't know what else I would do on a Wednesday and Sunday other than hanging out with my best friends and singing some really beautiful music.